So, the Chicago Bears had a press conference in today, and in that press conference, the main theme was two things. One, Matt Nagy taking over play calling, which we'll address in another video, but the other, Andy Dalton being named the Chicago Bears starting quarterback. And in this video, we're going to discuss two things. First of all, we're going to discuss Andy Dalton being named the starting quarterback from the Bears front office, from themselves, from their perspective. And then we're going to discuss it from our perspective, the fans' perspective, and why we're mad about Ryan Pace naming Andy Dalton the starting quarterback. But before we dive into today's video, guys, I'm going to be going up on a tear. So I'm going to be making a lot of Chicago Bears videos. And I'm also going to be diving into making stories on how Chicago Bears players got to where they are today. And a couple of NFL draft videos, like the stories of some NFL draft prospects that you guys might want to know. So let me know in the comment section below any names you want me to do, any Chicago Bears players stories you want me to say. And also, don't forget to like this video because it really helps me out and gets pushed out to more Chicago Bears fans. But with that all being said, let's dive right into today's video. And first, we're going to discuss Andy Dalton being named the starting quarterback from Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, and the coaching staff. So, first of all, Andy Dalton, I'm sure to Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, was not the first choice. Or maybe it was. But anyway, it was not the first choice according to reports that we've seen. That first choice was a guy like Russell Wilson, a guy like Deshaun Watson. Now obviously, that didn't work out, or at least right now, it is not looking like it will work out. Right now, it looks like those guys will not be traded in the near future. So, what do you gotta do? I mean, you miss out on Russell Wilson, you miss out on Deshaun Watson. What's your next best thing? Is it to stick with Nick Foles, or should you go out there and try to get a better quarterback than Nick Foles? And obviously, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy felt like that better quarterback was Andy Dalton. So they decided to bring in Andy Dalton in, and because they see him as a better fit, as a better starting quarterback than Nick Foles. So that's why Andy Dalton was brought in. Secondly, Andy Dalton was brought in because of his familiarity with the Bears coaching staff, because our current offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor, worked with Andy Dalton and helped get a lot from him. In fact, Andy Dalton's best years were under Bill Lazor. And, Andy Dalton has a lot of familiarity with what the Bears are running, specifically with the dropback game, play action, RPOs, and movements. This is the offense that Andy Dalton was in Cincinnati. So it felt like the Chicago Bears should bring in a familiar face, so they brought in Andy Dalton, rather than a guy that I probably would have to see like Tyrod Taylor or, other guys. But why was Andy Dalton named the starting quarterback today? Well, Ryan Pace just can't go out there and say that, hey, everything is on the table. Andy Dalton is not our starting quarterback. We're going to bring in competition. Because when you give a guy a $10 million contract, to me, that signals he's going to be the starting quarterback. And that signals to that player, Andy Dalton, that he will be the starting quarterback, And Ryan Pace, if he were to go out there and say that, hey, I'm going to go get a different starting quarterback, I'm going to go out there and trade for Russell Wilson, I'm going to go out there and get Deshaun Watson, that would really hurt Andy Dalton because he came here with the assumption that he would be the starting quarterback. If not, he could have gone to other places, but he came here because he was given the promise that he would be the starting quarterback. Now, before we end it on Ryan Pace's side, does this mean that Andy Dalton will be the starting quarterback? No, because this is what the Chicago Bears have said with the Mike Glennon. When the Chicago Bears signed Mike Glennon, they were like, yeah, Mike Glennon is the starting quarterback, but we're not going to bring in any competition. They said the exact same things with Mike Glennon. The 49ers said the exact same thing about Jimmy Garoppolo. They said he's our guy. So you see all these teams making these kinds of statements, but then they do something different. Then they trade up. And I think that that's what's going to happen with the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to possibly use Andy Dalton as a mentor, as a guy to help a rookie quarterback. And I think that's why they decided to bring in Andy Dalton, a guy who really knows, the Bears offense and really knows how the offense works and can better teach it to a rookie quarterback. But let's really discuss what you guys came here for, the fans' perspective. And I think from the fans' perspective, we are disgusted by them signing Andy Dalton. Like, you go into this offseason saying this year will be different. This year we're going to be competitive. That's what the indications that we got. We had a bright future. We expected the Chicago Bears to make a big move at the quarterback position. But for you to go out and get a guy like Andy Dalton, that just sinks the hearts of Chicago Bears fans. That just shows Chicago Bears fans that they don't care. Ryan Pace doesn't care, right? Because if he did, he would go out there and get a better starting quarterback. A guy like Russell Wilson. He would have been a top-tier quarterback. Or, he would have liked to see the Chicago Bears do what the 49ers did, trading up inside the top 10. Which, as of this video, hasn't happened yet. We really wanted a big upgrade, and Andy Dalton wasn't that guy. And from all the things that were being said by Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, we expected a big move. And I think that Andy Dalton being named the starting quarterback was a major letdown. I think that it also hurt even more when you have a guy like Nick Foles already on the roster. So it doesn't really make sense for you to go out there and get a guy like Andy Dalton. So let me guys know your thoughts on Andy Dalton being named the starting quarterback. Are you guys for this? Are you guys against this? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. Again, don't forget to subscribe below. Don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with a couple of your other Bears fans friends. And with that being said, guys, peace out and bear down.